I asked my 64 years old grandfather, "Lo, sa imo pamidaron karon tan-aw nimo, ang kinabuhi ba mubo o taas?" His answer really surprised me, knowing that he's at all and he's that really full of wisdom when it comes to life questions. And also, this statement that I use as my basis is considerably a cliche for the most of us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Angel Grace F. Beato, a first-year student of Bachelor of Science and Secondary Education major in Science from Davao Oriental State University. And I am here at this moment to discuss with you the idea of withering life. Before I give you his answer, I would like to share some facts about my grandfather. The moment I was born, the first man that supported my mother was my grandfather. I grew up without my papa by my side because he works at Kidapawan and our mother raised us in Mati City. You know, I have this little brother which is a year younger than me, and we grew together. So basically, I grew up considering my lolo as my father. He was such a kind person back then. He never beat me, nor my brother. He used to scold us, but he used gentle words. When I was 7, my parents eventually separated. So my mother was forced to put us in the middle of farm area together with my grandparents to live because she had to work. We didn't have any neighbor back then. It was kind of sad and gloomy, but we are happy every time we are together with our grandfather because he used to say a lot of jokes, a lot of stories, and he used to teach us a lot of tricks. We are happy when he comes home from work, not because of his pasalubong, but because of him, because of his presence. We love having him by our side. He's like our guardian angel back then. And also, when we were little, our grandmother used to feed me and buy other vegetables, and I don't feel like eating vegetables. So what my grandfather used to do, he sneak those vegetables while saying jokes to not notice that he already ate my vegetables. He used to make jokes for my grandmother to not notice that he already is doing that. He used to say, "Ang kalabasa, pampalinaw ng mata, ba't ang bulag, wala na talagang pag-asa," and other kind of jokes. He used to save me from things that my grandmother used to scold me from. But you know, today, he used to complain about back pains, joint pains, and he also complains about his ears aching. He is also now a moody person. He is not that gentle now. He used to say bad words, and he even shouts. Seeing him change because of his age makes me feel like I am losing a person I used to know. Now, it's kind of sad, but it's bittersweet. I even can't help before to wonder, why do we really have to age and slowly evolve from an innocent child to a mad, grumpy old person? Why can't we be that innocent like we are before so we could all live happily? If life is a gift, why do we have to have it and then the giver would take it back from us again? But as I grow up in age, I slowly understand and slowly answer my questions. Although I want more to be with my grandfather who was kind and gentle, I still to understand that This is life. This is how it works. Things evolve and change. Like the fresh flowers in the garden, whatever beauty it may possess, it will still wither. Like us humans, that must accept the fact that we will slowly wither in our own face. As I grew older, I learned aging is the most normal thing in life. And that is proven scientifically. According to World Health Organization, aging is a result from the impact of the growth of wide variety of molecular and cellular damage over time in our body that leads to gradual decrease in physical and mental capacity, leading to a growing risk of disease and ultimately death. Death and aging. Two considerable terrifying ideas that most of us are afraid of. And I think the reason behind this fear aren't there's two realities at all. The reasons lies within us. First, we are afraid to live and to be loved. When someone dies, they will leave us without even saying a proper goodbye. And as humans, we don't like that. We don't want that thing to happen. Aging could also means living our comfort zones, old friends, old habits, old self, and even loved ones. We are afraid of this. Why? Because most of us love the idea of contentment. But that is not what aging is teaching us. We must change some part of us constantly for us to say that we are growing. Because that's how life works. And second, we don't really accept the fact that death and aging are gifts and are not path to another level of beauty. They are gifts. Level to another beauty, not boundary. We have to accept this. Why? Because this fear that we have inside our heads are created by our minds to hinder us from moving forward in life. This fear makes us cling too much to what we have now that we don't notice that while gripping and holding to this now, we are already holding the past that the world created as it evolved. If we don't learn to accept, we will forget the real meaning of life. And that is to live and eventually to die. We will never learn that essence without teaching our minds to accept it. And that's even the problem. We let our mind control us. And not the way around. This body, this mind, this voice, this everything that we have now is owned by us. We must control these, not the other way around. Because if not, we will never enjoy the present. Because if we're through, we will never see the reason why some things have to wither for another thing to grow. If we will not stop being a warrior, we will never become the real warrior in life that we have to be. Now back to my grandfather's answer. When I asked him if life is short or not, considering his age, it surprised me because I thought he would answer me long philosophical answers, words like he used to answer me when I have questions to him. But guess what? He just told me, Depende. Depende kung unsay hatag sa imong kinabuhi. Because of that, I asked myself for a moment, what was his answer was all about? It was such a vague statement that I find so hard to connect with my question. I thought he would answer me, as you can see, I'm already old, so I think life is that long after all. Or maybe life is short. This lifetime is really not enough for me. Until I asked my small 9-year-old sister with the same question, and she gave me the same answer that my grandfather gave me. Well, maybe I am the one who gave the wrong question. Or maybe that's how life really works. That it is not really measured as short or long. It always depends. That yes, we can count our days, but that is not how life really works. Maybe life is not all about numbers. Maybe it's about the memories we build. Then I realized life, after all, is not all about the quantity of birthdays you will celebrate, but the quality of life you will live. And from there, I learned that aging is really not just about how old you are, but how you lived your life and how you will spend your life in the future. We will never be able to live life fully if we don't accept the fact that age shouldn't be counted. It must be lived. The capability of someone saying that I lived life enough without sounding miserable, instead contented, lies in how someone lived life amidst the constant changes in this world. And with that, I realized that age is a blessing, not a curse. The real curse is the belief that we cannot be who we are today forever. If we don't accept the fact that one day we will wither, we will be the one who will suffer, eventually, with our fantasies. Becoming old, and weak by physical and mental health, is totally normal. Process is truly the beauty of this gift given to us, not the other way around. With my grandfather, I now fully understand him. Now, I like the way he used to be before. Who wouldn't like to hang on and talk with a kind person? But that is now who he is today. And with all the experiences in life, I think a family that understands him and supports him is what he truly needs. My grandfather used to be a member of special police when he was young. He was also a worker in logging that carried tons of logs. He also works under the scorching heat of sun before as a welder. He used to carry tons of rice at 10-wheeler truck's wheel. He does everything before just to send his 2 daughters in a private school and eventually to college. With the fact that he doesn't have any permanent and well-paying job, he still did everything. He may seem to change now, but the kind of loving person we know will always be him no matter what. As what Master Xing Li said, everything has consequences, and what we do today to our future self will affect everything. That consequence is what we refer to as karma. And I think with all the experiences my grandpa goes through today, we must be able to understand him as a family even more. Because he wouldn't be like this today without the pressure and hard works he carried before to raise our family. This is a karma, and he got this because of us. The changes that he is going now, right now, is the consequences of his sacrifices. Truly, I can say that my grandfather lived a long, meaningful life, like how most of our elderly do. say that my grandpa is the epitome of aging as a blessing. Now, before ending this speech, I want to remind you that life is like a river. Imagine a river. We have to age continuously. We have to flow until we get to our ultimate ending. A wider place for us where we can ultimately achieve the greatest freedom. Unlike river, if we stop ourselves from flowing, we will get stagnant. We will never know what is the beauty that awaits ahead. Aging is a blessing that we must be thankful of, not a number that we must think about.